This is a inculcation that for those starting out on the path of the occult, there's a great obstacle, a great adversary, a great barrier to becoming, and the context and the view in regard to energy, becoming an apprentice. An apprentice isn't someone who just starts listening, starts reading, starts doing some lighting of candles. This is not an apprentice. This is a potential apprentice. An apprentice must overcome the first barrier, the first truly difficult adversary to their path, and it is self-importance, it's self-pity. What the pressure and the force are self-importance and self-pity. The self-image of the selfness that comes and builds and solidifies from the time you start learning to walk and becomes reflected in the mirror of self-reflection. That self-image, self-reflection, the mirror of self-reflection, the self-image exudes and pressure and forces across that mirror, and those pressure forces upon you are what we call self-importance and self-pity. We must save our energy, shatter the mirror of self-reflection, lose the form for that self-image to just dissipate. And then you are, according to the designs of energy and the context of the sorcery, then you are apprentice. This inculcation will help you. Do it once a week. You could do it more. It has a cumulative effect. You don't want to do it too often, but 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a month would be enough. Would not do it. It's not for every day, but if you did it 4, 5, 6 times in a month, this would be a good sign. All in all, once, twice a month would be effective and more moderate use of the inculcation. So there you have it. It's 3 lines. It's spoken 3 times, and it goes like this: Otie holuje runuse rivuze zevaxe ivasuze sixovuje tuve sozaze muze zoaxe tuse role ove tuve zoxale zonuxe tasove Otie holuje runuse rivuze zevaxe ivasuze sixovuje tuve sozaze muze zovaxe tuse role ove tuve zoxale zonuxe tasove Otie holuje runuse rivuze zevaxe ivasuze sixovuje tuve sozaze muze zovaxe tuse role ove tuve zoxale zonuxe tasove. Now, I purposely varied the tempo of those 3 readings, of those 3 pieces, to give you a kind of a spectrum in a sense. You can really hyper focus on a single word and going through it more mechanically. There's nothing wrong with that. This can actually give you a practice in a way that's very kind of really gets the throat, the mouth, and the sounds that are coming out. The mechanical practice is fine. Then you have more of the exuberant read, where it's just it really, the words are really close together. If you're reading it along, if you're reading along on a page or on the screen, you can of course differentiate the words, but it has a more seamless effect, a more seamless phonology. And then there is the it's like a gymnast really planting that landing, but you still have a higher tempo. The speed is turned up, so it's very bam, 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 bam. So there is a bit more distinction, but there's also that tempo. As far as energy is concerned, the I would lean in the direction of the second one that has more of the seamless, because what is relevant to this inculcation and its effect and how things work in this place. Said something offhand, off the cuff, and don't even remember what they told the cashier an hour later. Couldn't even vaguely remember. That there's no attention involved in that. It's somewhere else apparently. The awareness is someone who does that is the average man, the average woman. Their awareness is nearly dead. They're a walking corpse for all intent and purposes. When you're doing and using the angelic language, your awareness, although maybe weakened by the deleterious lifestyles of the modern age, the suppression of occult knowledge, and the lack of occult practice and self-development, and this is possible. But it's an awareness that is trying to come alive. And your attention is going to be on the page of the screen, reading the words, knowing what you're busy with, knowing that you have an inculcation in front of you, you know what it is for, you're enjoying speaking it, you intend to do it well, you intend outwardly these purposes to be realized in the manifest cosmic monoreality construct of the matrix. So the awareness, the attention is there, and you speak the words. So when we get down to speaking, when we get down to talking about the spacing in between the words and the phonology and the way it comes out and it sounds and this and that, let's concern ourselves with the important parts first before we start dissecting tiny details when giant areas have to be rearranged and straightened up. You know, it's like a warehouse that's been sold to another customer, and there is just 5 big sections, and each one has just got crap everywhere. One place, it's just got rusty metal. It's going to be, you know, power washed, and somebody is over there straightening up one little corner next to the janitor's closet, and they've been cleaning on that stupid little room for 5 hours. And they are like trying to polish something in there. It's just like, yo, okay, enough. We've got to get these crates out of here. We got to get these doors opened up, and that we got to get some power washers over that one. Enough. Okay. Yeah, so find enough job on that little space that you've been on for 5 hours. That's dandy. But we've got to get some of the big tasks and chores knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So that happens. People can get fixated when there's large challenges and tasks to be done. They can get fixated to be over there with a toothbrush scrubbing on a coffee cup for 4 hours. It's like, listen, that coffee cup looks great, and you really put some motivation and effort into that. But we need to get over here and get this furniture out of here. We got to get the floor swept and, put the new light bulbs in the things and get the doors all opened up and stuff. Yeah, okay. So let's move on and let's get some of these big things knocked out. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. So that inculcation, you can call it dethroning self-importance. It has to do with stirring up a small portion of your energy to bring back to the awareness, bring back to the attention what we're talking about, what I'm talking about right now. Because what I'm talking about right now will recede away from your memory a little bit, and then it just doesn't pop back up like you might wish it would. But this redirects a small amount of energy to bring this back to your attention and awareness a little easier, for a little more frequency of occurrence. And it's like, yeah, that's right. I want to get to work on that one thing this helps. I wouldn't call it a reminder subroutine in your machine mind. I wouldn't classify it as that, but I would probably give a half smirk to someone who did. If you follow. All right, thanks for checking this out. Hope you like what's on the screen, because I'll be throwing up some scenic stuff. I'll throw up the words, bam, and then I'll go back and scenic, because it's just it's a lot easier to edit these. I can pump them out a lot more efficiently when it's not video editing and rendering. So thanks for checking out the video, and as always, namaste.